Hello, my name is Anna. I'm a digital fantasy artist, and today I'm going to talk about some downsides of opening and receiving commissions, and to say that it's not all unicorns and roses. I hope you guys enjoy this really hot recent piece that I'm painting. It's recent from Akota, and I did paint him shirtless, and I guess it's going to distract you from the heavy topics that we're going to cover in this video. So we're going to start talking about commission waitlists, and commission waitlists, it's basically when you think you're going to have all your spots filled, and then you realize you have so many more people asking you if they can commission you, and you realize that you just basically can't do art for everyone because your wrist is going to fall and you just don't have the time. So you need to open waitlists. And commissions are all fun and games until you realize that you take 20 hours to create one piece, and you can only do around 2 hours per day in each piece while you're working on 3 at the same time. So it takes you 1 month to complete 3 commissions, and you just can't make any more than that. And then you can only take 3 slots per month, and suddenly everyone wants a piece. How are you going to handle customers that arrive in the middle of the month when you are already fully booked and they're just giving you the opportunity of a lifetime, and you just really want to fit them in, but you just can't. So you need to open commission waitlists. The first option when faced with this problem, that is basically when someone commissions you and you just can't fit them in the month, is to create a waitlist on Google Forms. And whenever someone commissions you but you just can't get to them yet, they can just type their info in and you contact them once a slot opens. This is really good because you can literally accept work anytime you like, and instead of advertising your commissions and commissions sheets, you can advertise your waitlist instead. So you're just going to have 1 trillion responses to the waitlist, and you're just going to get it one by one whenever you feel like, having a commission done. The downsides of commission waitlists, though, that I don't personally do waitlists actually because of it, it's because people usually forget about answering a form, or they are too lazy to do so. And you will sound pushy if you ask them if they have signed it already. So it's important to understand that when someone commissions you and you tell them that you have no slots open, but you can only get to them on April, so they should just write their info down in the Google Docs. They are just going to hear all that you said as a no, and they are going to be so lazy to write their info in the waitlist because they know they will not get their slot as soon as they thought they would, because ideally they wanted you to start right now. So you need to think about their disappointment and think about how normal it is, because you would be disappointed as well. And even if they do sign the form and they don't forget about it and you don't need to be pushy about it, the form is unfortunately no guarantee that the person will contact you. And even if they answered the form, they can just change their minds depending on when a slot opens. But it's still good to have their contact info, and it's still an option that is casual for both you and the commissioner. Because the second option is not casual at all. So for the second option, it's basically, instead of just making it very casual and basically the person just texts you if they want a commission and puts it on the wait list, you're actually going to open an agenda with limited slots. So you are going to be very open about how many slots you can take per month. And you're going to tell everyone who wants to commission you until when you're going to be open. For example, I'm going to open a pre-booking agenda from January to June. And for the person to get the slot, they are going to have to pay you 20% of the full price that you agreed upon to save their spot. And this is different from just making a waitlist because it basically guarantees that the person will go through with the commission. Of course, you can't always be sure that someone is not going to cancel, but if you write down a contract and you make everything very clear, you can tell the person that even if they want to cancel, you're still going to keep the 20% that they paid as down payment to book their slot. So it's a safer option where you're not really going to lose money, and it's more likely that the person will go through with the commission. And I feel like this option really brings a safety net in freelance work because you already know that you will be booked, so basically you're going to be able to look and be like, oh my god, I don't know, today is January, but I already have April fully booked. So it's kind of it gives you some peace of mind because you know you're going to work in that month because the person basically already paid the 20% down payment. So it eases the anxiety of working on a freelance. Some of the downsides of opening a pre-booking agenda is that you have to discuss the whole commission beforehand, and you are going to explain that they have to pay 20% of whatever the final price was decided. And most people might not agree with that because, for example, imagine having to pay 20% of something that you're only going to get the result in like 4 months. So you really need to build trust with your customers before like going down this method because some people might not be comfortable even asking for this payment to be done, which I totally understand. And yeah, most of the times people don't know what they want to order months before the commission, and sometimes they do get nervous paying the 20% when you know you won't start the artwork anytime soon. And this method can make you less scared and money nervous, but it does take a much more committed and serious line of work. You really need a contract if you're going to do this method, and you're supposed to send it to the client and obviously make them sign it and read it so they feel safer about paying the 20% down payment. And this is the best options that I thought of. If you are not comfortable with the 20% down payment, I would say maybe don't ask them for the down payment and just make them sign the contracts. Like, you can still lose the spot because they haven't paid anything, but if it makes you nervous, don't ask someone to pay you for work you're not going to start. And that is completely understandable. But if you are already established freelance artist and you really need this payment to be done because you have to pay your bills and you have to maintain your house, then feel free to ask for a 20% payment. It's on your right to do that, and like really serious customers are going to understand and they are going to be willing to pay the 20%. So now we're going to talk about commission updates, and that's basically the questions of when should you update your client, when will you be working. Like, a bunch of us as illustrators, even if we are accepting commissions, especially in the start, we are still having part-time jobs, or maybe we're still studying, we're in university. So even if you can accept commissions, you might not be able to work on them every day. So try to have an open communication with your client and specify when exactly are you going to be able to give them updates. Some clients, they would love if you updated them every day. And others, they are okay if you take like a week or maybe 5 days before giving them any updates. So it's up to you to discuss with them and like explain your certain condition, but please send them updates. Don't be that artist that receives the payment and then disappears. That is just really hard to deal with. And it's really important to build trust with your clients so they come back. And even if your client does not specify that they want updates, maybe sending them updates it's going to show that you are dedicated and that you are organized with your work, and it's going to make them more likely to hire you again, So maybe sending updates whenever you can, and scheduling a date to send updates is just the best option. And most of the times it is good to send updates at least once every 3 days, depending on your deadline. And always remind them that you don't work over weekends, because you shouldn't work over weekends. So if you are working over weekends, I'm sorry, please remember to take breaks. But I do not work over weekends, only if I need to. So I explained that weekends don't count as a working day, and they shouldn't expect me to answer texts over weekends. It's really important to set boundaries on your work life, so please don't feel like you need to answer the emails that they send you right away. Please be mindful of your mental health and burnout, because if you're not taking care of yourself and your body and the pressure you're putting on yourself, you're not going to be able to make any money with commissions. So just think about that. Okay, but what if I send an update and they don't like it? I think at first you should not panic. If the person is respectful, they're not just going to say that it looks bad. They're just going to say, oh, could you fix this? So don't panic and don't think your art sucks because of it. It's just a fix. If they hired you, it's because they like your work. So it doesn't really make sense that they would just hate it. Don't let your mind twist things for you. And I think you should just think about how much did they not like it. Because if they didn't like anything about your art, they should just ask for a refund and not have hired you in the first place. Because when someone hires you, they see your examples and your skill level, and you can't hire someone expecting them to turn in something different than their skill level. So it really depends on if this person is respectful and they are hiring you because they like your work. And if they don't like it, but they just want a fix, you could just send not another sketch or maybe more thumbnail options, ask them for more clarity and descriptions and details, and try to make them explain what they don't like. And then send an updated version whenever you feel confident that it's better. Getting nervous and panicking doesn't help. Be confident in your skills. And if you need to do some studying before making a new version, do it. That's completely fine. You need to send an updated version that you like and that you think looks better. But if the client is asking for too many changes, or if they ask for a big change, while, for example, in the final stage, you should ask them to pay extra, because that is just really unfair. But remember that it's completely normal to get criticism and not only positive feedback in the commission process. Learn to take critics and understand that the commissioner is only trying to help. And the artwork is for them, so you need to hear what they want and change it. And just remember that. But that's basically it. Commissioning process is really hard, but I hope my tips were helpful. If you have any further questions, leave them down below. And I'm so glad that you were here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.